Hey everyone, Nayashe here. So in this video we have episode 2 of the Maehwa guide, and we will be going over practical PvP combos. This will be our bread and butter combos and a few of the ones that I particularly use that I recommend, but we will not be getting into any crazy combos and no PvE combos in this particular video. We'll probably do that on another video. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, so before we even start getting into the PvP combos, we first need to understand how CC chaining works. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description for a video that InkQ did a while back. This is the rendition of going over the new CC mechanics that were completely and utterly revamped during the, I think it was actually a year ago. Yeah, I think it was a year ago. I think it was in April. He published this in July of 2018, so make sure to check out this video. Like I said, I'll be putting a link in the description. This goes over the CC mechanics in detail, so I'm not going to bother trying to replicate that. I will, however, go over some quick little details that I don't think Ink really went over, and that's going to describe what the CCs look like as well as their durations. So stiffness is one of the common ways that we're going to be catching our opponents. So you need to be aware of how that looks so that you can quickly react to it, because it does have a short CC duration of about 1 to 1.5 seconds. So stiffness, what it does is when you actually connect it and CC your opponent, whether it be a PvE mob or a player, your CC will cause the opponent to literally stiff up and be stuck still, not moving. See how they're actively moving right now? I stiffed him, and he literally got stuck. He also got pushed back a little bit, but that's because he's a PvE mob. Stiffness is a little pushback on PvE. That won't happen to actual players. So we're going to do that again. You get stiffed, and that's about 1 to 1.5 second CC duration. Stun, however, makes them look like they got a headache and or they're drunk, so they're going to be dizzy looking. So let's see that. So see how he's wobbling right there? So he's stunned. So that's what a stun looks like. So you need to familiarize yourself with stiffness and stun animations so that you get used to them, and then you can react accordingly. Alright, so that was the stun. Now we'll get into the float. So here's a float. So that usually lasts about 2.5 seconds on both mobs and players. The mods are a little sluggish on getting up, so don't bother trying to time it here. But for players, it's about 2.5 seconds. Same with mobs typically. But that's just to give you an idea of what the animation looks like. And then there's bounds, which we have one bound, which is a kick, sweep kick. I'm not going to even bother going into that one. We have no grab. We do have a knockback. Let me go ahead and do that. That's what a knockback looks like. They kind of like get knocked back, literally, and almost like they're losing their balance. So that's definitely a potential CC that you could end up using. There it is again. And then the final one that we have available in our kit would be Knockdown. Oh, not that. That's the 100%. Let's go ahead and just do Retaliation. That's what a knockdown looks like. It takes about 4 to 6 seconds. So 4 seconds if they're actively trying to get up. 6 seconds if they are being slow on the recovery and not actively trying to get up. Oh, knockback is about a 1.5 second CC duration as well, actually. Forgot to mention that. 1.5 to 1.75. I think it's more like 1.5 though. But that's just a rough estimate. So that gives you a general idea of how long those CCs last, so do your combos accordingly. If it seems like your opponent is really tough, You might want to do longer CC chains, so like knockdowns, doing 2 knockdown effects if you can, which we're very limited on those options. So you could maybe do which the float would take effect there anyways, but that's just you know, an option. Just something to think about when you're trying to CC your opponent. You need to understand what your skills do. So make sure you look at your skills, see what they do, if they float or if they stiff or if they're a stun effect. You know, just understand what your skills do. You need to really look at what your skills do. And something to help you out, I'm going to have this posted in the description of the video as well. And if you check out my Discord, which I'll put a permanent invite link for the Discord, you'll be able to see in the Maehwa info here that I have it posted here as well. It's nice, clean, ready for use. So you can copy paste this into your own, document if you would want to keep it on hand. Otherwise, it'll always be available via the pins on my Maehwa info channel. So yeah, make sure to come check out the Discord. Trying to get it going here. Got quite a few people in here already. This is also linked to my my stream, my Twitch stream. So if you sub on there, you can get access to all our nifty emotes that we got going on here. A little sellout mode there. Anyways, moving on. So let's quickly go over the combo formula document that I got going on here. So first things first, I go over the available stiff options that I recommend using, as well as the stuns, the floats, and knockdown effects that you could potentially use. So make sure to check those. That's just to give you a quick indicator of which skills to look out for and kind of understand their effects, learn how to use them, yada yada yada. So now, after you understand these skills, then you can get into the standard combo formula. So the standard combo formula works like this. Basically, let me fix this so it's not getting cut off too much. Let's see, right here. Oh, damn it. Technical difficulties. Hold on, let me go ahead and get rid of this logo for a second. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, so let's see. All right, so with the standard combo formula, it generally goes like this. You stiff your opponent, as represented here. If you land a stiff, then you want to try to go into either a stun, float, or knockdown effect. Whatever is available, but typically we're going to be prioritizing stuns and floats. I just added knockdown because it's the same principle. If you pull off a knockdown, that's fine. And then what you want to do is Sleet Step and then go into your bread and butter. You can use oppression if it's available. It is not necessary. Not necessary. So make sure we put that there on those. It's not necessary unless it is a tougher opponent, then at which point it would be necessary. Sometimes I use oppression as a potential way to catch my opponent with a stiff option, as it is available up here. So if you happen to have it on cooldown, it's not a big deal. And then from there you go into skills like Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Cloud Stab. These would be our bread and butters for the maximum damage output that you can do in a combo. And then from here, if you read, it'll say if not dead and not evasion. You can tell if someone's evasion if they're not really taking too much damage, depending on your accuracy level, mind you. But if they're not dead and they're not evasion, see extended options, or if evasion, see the specialty options. So let me go ahead and expand this out a little bit more. So might as well just maximize the damn thing. All right, so from here, if our opponent didn't die, we'll go to the extended options. So extended options being right below. So extended options would be your follow-up being Sticky Snowflake after Cloud Stab. Then you go into Moonrise, Frost Pillar, Tip of the Iceberg again. Or you can do Petal Bloom right after Cloud Stab, and then do Blooming. And this could be Absolute blooming is the preferred. If you don't have absolute blooming and you're following what I'm doing, which I use normal blooming, I wouldn't recommend trying to do blooming at the end. But if you have absolute blooming, if you have low AP, I recommend you get absolute blooming. You can definitely do this at the end as a follow-up, as a extended combo. So assuming no down smash, this is when you want to do it. So Petal Bloom has the potential of doing a down smash. If you do get a down smash, then you can go into this version of it instead, which you can do Petal Bloom, it down smashes. Then you do Moonlight Dash. That could potentially down smash as well, but more than likely it won't. And then you do Blooming at the end there. That's to maximize your damage output. So it would be this entirety of this combo, and then one of these three options down here. That is if you don't have the AP to kill your opponent with just this combo right here. Now, if it is an evasion player, and like I mentioned, you can tell if it's an evasion player if you're not really doing too much damage. Like, you'll notice how at certain points in times you'll do chunks, but then you'll start to do like nothing again, and then you'll do a little chunk here, little bit of nothing there. That'll probably more than likely be an evasion. You'll be able to tell when you get more used to how people's gear is, but that's just a quick description. If they're damage reduction based, then they'll always take less damage. It'll just be the same consistent small amounts. So if that's the case, then don't worry about it being a evasion one. But you can still look at the specialty options. So even if they're not evasion, you can go to specialty. So specialty is below the extended. And there's some key notes here. It requires an alchemy stone to make this work, and it is not recommended for trial characters because trial characters do not have alchemy stones, so they're a little bit slower typically. It's a risky combo, that's why, but it's only risky if you don't have the attack speed bonuses. So how this would work is, instead of doing these combos right here, so say you do this combo and it doesn't kill your opponent. Well, the next time you catch your opponent, you need to actually do a specialty combo as well, or instead. So a specialty combo would be you do a stiff, stun, float, or knockdown. Same thing as before. You Sleet Steps, oppression if it's available. In this case, you would want to try to make it available. So don't try to catch them with stiff. You want to have that DP shred that oppression applies, which I'll show that in a little bit. But then you just do Sticky Snowflake again, Moonrise, and then Cloud Stab to float them, and then you Sticky Snowflake 2 to 3 more times, depending on if you can fit in a third one. And that should, depending on your AP and their evasion and DP, that should kill them. So this would be the formula that helps out with understanding combos and what you would typically want to do. So if you need to reference what's a stiff, okay, these are my stiff options. What's a stun, float, or knockdown? All right, these are my stun, float, knockdown options. So this is just just a formula, like I mentioned, to help you out. And I'm going to be copying this into the description as long as the description doesn't have a limit on characters. We'll see how it works out. Otherwise, check it out in that Discord, which I definitely will have in the description for you. All right, so now let's actually start demonstrating this. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on these scarecrows here first, and then I'll show clips later of me doing it on a player. So, food. Let's eat that food real quick. Alright, so I currently have all my gear on, but these combos will be effective for players fighting soft cap players. Soft cap DP meaning 296 DP. I think this is about as low as you can go, so basically right under 230 AP. I was testing it on a tamer, and I'll show some clips of me doing the combos on a tamer in a little bit, but this was just enough for most of the combos to kill, using the extended parts of those combos. And then, of course, if you have AP similar to mine, you can basically get away with doing like half the combo. So it's really nice. Helps having a lot of AP. But I wanted to make sure that those newer players that don't have the AP understand that they can perform these combos and kill their opponent. So it's all about just proper catches and clean combos. So here we go. So first things first, we'll imagine the scenario. Say we get a stiff, and then we go into, let's use our handy dandy formula here. So say we do a stiff, and then we do a stun, and then we go into Sleet Step, Oppression, and then Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Cloud Stab, and then we'll do one of the extendeds like Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Frost Pillars, Tip of the Iceberg. And I'll put the on the screen. I'll have them listed up here for you viewers. Otherwise, you'll see my keys are available right here on screen. So we'll do Red Moon. This will be a typical one. So Dragon Bite into Red Moon, and then we'll do Sleet Step and Oppression. Now I have the normal blooming. Do not do that if you have normal blooming. I just did it for representation purposes. If you have absolute blooming, make sure to do that and use that on that extended combo, and that would work out good. Oops, we accidentally popped our E-buff. Need to make sure we lock that. We'll go ahead and do another version of it. So let's say we do a forward blind thrust into Red Moon, and then the same combo. If we can actually do it right, that would be fantastic. And then this is another iteration, so that would be the extended part was Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Moonrise, Frost Pillar, Tip of the Iceberg. So, and I'll have all those up here, so don't mind me saying them wrong improperly. They'll be up there. So another option would be, let's say we get Stigma. So from Awakening, we can do Stigma. Now I didn't do a float right there. I just immediately went into Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Cloud Stab. Be careful with that. It's probably not the best advice right there. So let me go ahead and do it properly. Let's see. That would be an example of the combo. First I did Stigma, then I did Royal Rage to stun them. And that gives me plenty of time because stun does a 2-second CC. And then I can set up the rest of my combo. So I can either Sleet Step. You don't have to Sleet Step in this particular combo, the Awakening one. But you can. And then you can do Moonrise, Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Cloud Stab. And then you can go into the extended pieces if necessary. So let's do that one again, but we're going to change it up. And that's just to represent it. The blooming, make sure you do the absolute blooming if you want to do that version of it. If you want to use the normal blooming like my setup, then don't do that blooming there. And let's see. So let's do some range combos. Those are pretty good standard combos that I showed you there. Actually, let's do one more. Say you catch them in Stigma. You can do Red Moon as well, Sleet Step, Sticky Snowflake, Moonrise, Cloud Stab, and of course do the extended features from there. Alright, so now we'll get into some range combos. So some things you can do would be, you got Cyclone Slash here, which will float your opponent. And then you also have Stub Arrow, which if you do Stub Arrow, you can chase cancel up to your opponent. And how you do chase cancel, which I'll go over in another video, but just really quickly I'll go over it right now. Chase cancel is performed by doing forward, left click, and then a keybind. In this case, my keybind is set to numpad 1. If you go to settings, interface, and then all the way down here where it says the WW key, set that to a key. In this case, I did numpad 1, and I attached it to my mouse so that I can do the chase cancel. Like I said, if you're interested in the cancels, I am going to do a video on cancels and accelerators, so it'll help you out with more info on that chase cancel. But let's go ahead and do the combo. So something to note here, when I chase canceled up to the Scarecrow, I did D-Bite first and then Red Moon. So the reason for doing that is it can give you a frontal guard just in case you maybe misjudged that CC and they didn't actually get CC'd. Maybe the D-Bite will actually CC them. But in this case, because of the time frame, you won't have to worry about the D-Bite actually connecting the stiff if you do it properly, because basically you'll cut the animation really short by jumping straight into Red Moon, and you won't actually do that second CC as a stiff. However, there is a chance that you could end up stiffing them a second time, and it could shorten your combo. So just be wary of that. 9 times out of 10, though, it won't happen. So that would be how that works. It's a very common combo that I use. Another iteration, we'll use a different float skill. So in this case, we'll use Blind Slash. It's one I've been using a lot recently, so I also recommend that. So a lot faster CC with Blind Slash than Red Moon. So that is the reason why I tend to use Blind Slash in a lot of my more recent videos, and as well as on stream. Just growing accustomed to it, I like it far better than trying to pull off a Red Moon sometimes. It's a lot more reliable CC-wise, just because of how much more quick it is. So let's do a Cloud Stat or Cyclone Slash. So in Cyclone Slash's example, we would come to this iteration of the combos. So this would be one of your standard combo formulas right here. So if you do a stun, float, or knockdown first, then you can do Sleet Steps, Oppression, you know, and then you start getting into the bread and butter, and then the extended or the specialty. Now, this is a specific example that I'm going to show, so we'll add that to the list. But basically, what you're going to do is you're going to do a Cyclone Slash. So we're going to specifically say Cyclone Slash in this example. And then we're going to do Petal Drill. To get to our opponent, you're going to Oppression. It will be necessary in this case. And then you'll do Red Moon. And then Sleet Step again. Alright, so for the Cyclone Slash combo, what we're going to do is we're going to do Cyclone Slash, we're going to Sleet Step, and then Petal Drill. Then we're going to walk forward just a little bit and then do Oppression. This helps because of the animation of Petal Drill. It doesn't let you do Oppression right away after, so you got to move forward first to cancel the animation of Petal Drill. And then you can do Oppression, and then Red Moon, and then do your normal pieces of your combo from there. So as an example. So let's go ahead and do it on a mob here so we can get a better representation with the float. So the mob gets floated all around and like crazy, but with a player that works pretty good. The alternative to doing Cloud Stab there would be Frost Pillar, Tip of the Iceberg. So let's do it on this mouse so we don't have a tree in our way. So that could be a alternative combo there. And that would be an example of how you could combo with Cyclone Slash. Now, that particular combo you might have a hard time killing with if you have low AP compared to their DP. It's kind of more of a improv combo, but it is something that could potentially land. You may not feel like Cyclone Slash lands all that much at first when you're using it, but the more you start using it and using it at very unique situations, you'll actually find that you connect a lot more often than you might think. I actually connect with Cyclone Slash quite a bit, and it surprises opponents all the time, mostly because they tend to not have really high settings on their animations, so they don't see it very well. So they have like really low settings like I currently do, but they have skill effects off. So if they go to like down here and you have like other effects off, they can't see it. So they get caught with it a lot. A lot of people do that so they can really boost up their FPS. So it's a little counter to that, I guess you can say. So yeah, so that's some examples of combos. Now I'll go ahead and start showing some clips of me doing them on a tamer, and then we'll go from there. that concludes the Maehwa combo guide for this particular episode. We will be going over movement as well as engages in the next episode, and then we'll also do specific tricks with certain skills. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up for this episode. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, you felt it was helpful, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, check me out on Twitch, and you can ask me questions there, or see the gameplay in action. Otherwise, I will catch you guys next time. Make sure to check the description for all those details I was talking about earlier, and as well as the Discord. See you.